Alright, we're going to start off with 10 goblet squats or simply 10 bodyweight squats. Again, nice and slow, no rush at all. You want to keep your feet planted on the floor, especially the heel. Don't want that coming off. Your first move in the warm-up, essentially just checking how your hips, your ankles, your knees, everything, how they feel. If depth is a concern, don't worry about it. Just sitting in a chair and then coming back up. After you're done with 10 reps, you switch onto the ground into a quadruped position, also called a 6-point stance. And then you're going to do 30 reps of rocking. Goal here, simply breathe in and out through your nose, nice and calm. Keep your tailbone up and keep your chest open. You're just rocking back and forth to mobilize your hip. Very similar to what you do on the squat. Again, 30 reps or thereabouts. Once you're done with 30 reps, the next move you're going to switch into is a halo. Again, stay patient with the rocking. You're going to mobilize your wrist, your hip, and your ankle. All the while, keep your tongue placed to the roof of your mouth. And then we'll switch to halos. If you have a bell, you invert the bell. If you don't have one, you simply grab a water bottle. The goal here is to again just mobilize your shoulder, do them nice and slow. You're doing 5 reps per side. Now, while you do the halo, just make sure you hold a plank as you stand. So you don't want to arch your back. You just want to keep your glutes squeezed. Stand tall and keep your stomach a little tight. Once you're done with 5 halos, you're going to get back down onto the floor. 20 reps adductor rocking per side. So just getting one leg out to the side. Same focus as the previous stance when you were rocking. You keep your chest up and you try to keep your tailbone up. Breathing in and out through your nose. Focus on pulling your breath into your stomach. 20 reps on one leg, and then we switch onto the other leg. Now, while you're on the adductor rocking, just make sure that you don't feel any sort of sharp pull or tug on your groin. It is generally an area of tightness for most of us. So we're going to focus and let our breathing dictate how much we rock back and forth. Then once we're done with adductor rocking, we're going to switch to glute bridges. If you have a band, you can do it with a band around your knee. If you don't, just do them on the ground. For the glute bridge, simply drive through your heel and squeeze your glutes at the top. 20 reps over here with a 2 to 3 second pause at the top. Again, you just want to make sure that you are squeezing your glutes at the top of each rep. Make sure you don't overarch your back. The goal is not to drive your hip very high, but rather to just extend your hip. You can check midway by just poking or chopping at your glutes to ensure that you feel that they're tight. Now, once we're done with 20 reps here, simply going to stand back up and switch to some jogging on the spot. And then let's come back up. Now jogging on the spot, going for a total of 50 steps per leg. Just count them down. You want to stay nice and soft on your landing. Use that gentle motion with your arm to counter that rotation coming from your legs. Add a little bit of speed midway. Try and get to that 50 per side a little quick. Push that heart rate gently up. Again, nothing too intense. If you need to, you can make this much slower. Play along with the tempo. Then once we're done, we're going to switch to doing 10 weighted hinges or simply body weight hinges. You can do the BGBS as the weighted hinge or just the body weight. You want to keep your knees nice and soft. The goal here is to work on pushing your hips back. You start feeling your hamstrings as you get your butt towards an imaginary surface behind you. After 10 reps over here on the hinge, you move to doing groiners. We're going to go for a 5 groiners per side. Again, take your time. Try and get your foot beside your palm. If you need to place your back knee on the floor, that's totally fine. You're just trying to stretch and mobilize the hip. Going for a total of 5 reps per side. On each side, you want to hold it just for about 5 to 10 seconds. Then you can switch midway. If you start feeling an excess shoulder burn, anything feels off, you can always take a mini breather. Add a little bit of bounces on a couple of reps. Keep your hip locked out as you do the bounce. Feel a stretch on that back leg. You can also just guide your front knee out a little bit using your elbow. Alternatively, you can also add in a T-spine rotation on a couple of reps. Just trying to open up your upper back, your thoracic spine as it's called. And once we're done here, we're going to go back to the halo. And again, 5 reps per side. Keeping your plank intact. As you do more reps on the halo, you're also trying to draw that circle around your neck with either the water bottle or the kettlebell. Trying to keep that arc nice and tight to the body. If you're doing this right, you will feel your midsection light up because the weight of the object or the water bottle itself is pulling you in different directions. And you keep your abs on. Once we're done with the halo, this time we go back to tactical frog rocking. So very similar to the rocking stance, but a little wider and trying to get the inner side of your foot to the floor. If you can't, that's fine. You can just switch to a wide stance rocking. Either version works. Pick something that is comfortable for you. How do you know what's comfortable? Your breathing will tell you. If you're able to breathe in and out through your nose comfortably, that's the right version. You can either do it from the elbow or the palm. Again, accessing whichever is easy for you. Getting into a deeper portion of the hip here because of the wide stance. Total of 30 reps. With each rep, you slowly start finding a little more range, getting a little more comfortable with the overall movement. And once we're done, we're going to move to side lying leg raises or knee clams with a band. So if you have a band, you can use it, or you can simply lie down on this side without the use of a band, and you're going to do side lying leg raises. The goal is to keep your toes pointed forward your feet parallel to the floor and don't let your toes point up to the sky. If you're doing the knee clamp, you just anchor one foot on top of the other and keep your top hand on the floor or on your hip and prevent yourself from rotating at the hip. You want to just try and rip that band apart, which is trying to pull your knees in towards each other.
Then we're going to switch sides.
And then get about 20 reps on the other side as well. If you're doing this right, you will feel your glutes, the side and the back, the entire portion of the glute. If you're not, you can simply poke yourself at the top of each rep and try and see if you can really feel that burn. You should be feeling it because we're going for a total of 20 reps over here. And the last move we got coming up, we're going to switch into doing a deconstructed commando crawl. We're going to go for a total of 5 slow reps from here. You get into a half cobra position and you take your opposite palm and reach towards the opposite knee. Left palm reaches towards the right knee. The other way around as well. Again, if you're feeling comfortable doing this, you can try to lift your leg a little more off the ground and lift your elbow a little more off the ground as you reach. Otherwise, simply let your limbs drag slightly across the floor. You can break it down into a bunch of steps. Again, let your breathing dictate the intensity. Go for a total of 5 to 8 reps here. And we are done.